Imagine yourself at the edge of an immense savanna as dawn breaks 300,000 years ago. The air is cool, silent, except for the distant calls of animals waking under amber light. You see figures moving gently in the faint breeze, human figures, not yet divided by borders or beliefs. Each one carries deep within the potential of every life that will ever follow. Contemplate for a moment the sheer wonder of this scene. One species, newly self-aware, gazing towards an infinite horizon. What dreams occupied their minds? What questions lingered in the early silence? All that you are, your heartbeat, your memories, your laughter, your tears, begins here. Across millennia, this human story spreads, branching, diversifying, evolving in magnificent ways. Yet, the threads remain unbroken. We are woven together by ancestry, by shared destiny. Tonight we travel backward and forward through that tapestry, from one beginning to the monumental reunion at the heart of our future. Breathe in the air of ancient Africa. Picture families gathered around flickering fires, their voices rising and falling within the shelter of simple huts, the glow of ash painting patterns on the walls. Life is fragile, but resilient. Watch as nimble hands craft tools of flint and quartz, the skill passed from parent to child as both gift and lifeline. Imagine the patience required, the silent trust built between generations. Children chase one another over open grass, laughing laughter bursting like birds from the thicket. Elders share stories by moonlight, tales of survival, of loss, of joy. On cave walls, the first images are painted, animals hunted and revered, marks of gratitude and mystery. But even now, not every family looks the same. Skin tones diverge, faces reflect the hills and valleys, the rivers and forests of their homeland. Some stand tall and slender, others are compact, adapted to life in a different climate. Survival means change. The genetic variation, already present, whispers a future of endless possibility. Embedded in each gene is the memory of risk, of adaptation, of desire to thrive in a changing world. And as centuries pass, something stirs beyond the comfort of old paths. A group, perhaps urged by hunger, perhaps by dreams, begins to walk. They move along the banks of slow rivers, through thickets of bramble, toward rising mountains. These journeys are neither sudden nor grand. Each step marks a test of courage, a leap of faith. Sometimes families vanish, lost to famine or storm. Sometimes villages grow as new seeds are sown, new skills learned. The humans who remain, those resilient survivors, carry our future forward. They are the ancestors of us all, the carriers of language, laughter, love. And so, onward through generations. The first migrations begin a chain of events that will span the globe, linking every human destiny through a tiny handful of founding stories. What we call diversity is already germinating, nourished by adaptation, by risk, by the art of survival in an unpredictable world. Now, see the world unfold as waves of humans push outward, across deserts that shimmer beneath relentless suns, into forests thick with secrets and possibility, to mountains cloaked in ice and silence. The march is slow. Millennia pass as families sow roots in new landscapes, learning the rhythms of rain and wind, carving shelter from rock and wood. Across the equator, the sun beats down with fierce purpose. Here, skin deepens, protecting fragile bodies from burning rays. In far northern lands, winter lingers. Watch children play in snow that blinds the eye, not afraid, but alive, adapted to bitterness, to weeks of darkness. Lighter skin welcomes stray sunlight, transforming it into strength. Ears and eyes change, shaped by wind, dust, bacteria. Hair takes on hundreds of forms, thick coils for insulation, straight strands for coolness. Every adaptation, a message written in DNA. Villages become cities. Languages split and multiply. Words for sun and snow, for family and fate, invented and abandoned, sung in dialects as distinct as stars. Traditions blossom. Drums echo through savannahs. Flutes whisper in mountain valleys. Rituals honor ancestors who came long before memory. Through all this, the lines of separation are both real and imagined. Science tells us that within any small village, within any group, lives most of the diversity of our species. The differences we witness on the surface are fireworks, not fault lines. Still, culture magnifies difference. Clothing, song, story. Pride is kindled. Identity is shaped. Peoples become hundreds, thousands of unique expressions of what it means to be human. Can you see it? An endless mosaic. Each tile brilliant, each path leading back to the same beginning. Diversity is not division, but enrichment. A tapestry painted by air, earth, and the choices of every wandering soul. Centuries, then millennia, pass in patient weaving. Now, something changes. Quiet at first, then thunderous. Paths cross once more. Caravans wind through deserts, bearing silk and salt, amber and gold. Ships billow across the Indian Ocean, linking the harbors of Africa, Arabia, India, and beyond. Merchants and travelers bring news from distant lands. Stories are traded by firelight. Marriages are made across languages. Goods exchange hands, and with them, laughter, sorrow, hope. Within these exchanges, DNA finds new pathways. Once isolated, genes now cross boundaries, blend into lineages, spark new combinations with every birth. Cities bloom on crossroads. Rome, Babylon, Baghdad, Zanzibar. Each one a laboratory of mixing, a promise kept by daring hearts. Families are formed that belong to no single origin. Children reflect eyes from many continents, skin that carries the warmth and memory of far-off places. Religion, philosophy, art, all become rivers fed by 1,000 source streams. Imagine a market at the edge of ancient Asia, teeming with languages, hands, and faces. A local festival where music blends rhythms carried from Mongolia to Morocco. A wedding that unites two lineages once separated by mountain ranges and seasons. Science can measure the flow, tracing genetic markers, mapping lineages. But what cannot be measured is the gentle revolution, the dissolving of difference in each smile, each embrace. To encounter is to change. What does it mean for one world to meet another? It means possibility, growth, humility. It is the beginning of becoming more, together. History rushes in, sometimes gentle, too often with violence and heartbreak. Empires rise and fall, hungry for territory, riches, power. Colonization carves new maps, redraws destinies. Slavery uproots millions, scattering lives across oceans. Injustice becomes part of the human story, struggles for freedom, for dignity, for the right to love and thrive. Yet within turmoil, the great mixing continues. Every forced migration, every voyage of exploration gives rise to new forms of union. Children are born whose ancestry spans continents. In Brazil, in the islands of the Caribbean, in the American South, in Indian Ocean cities, faces reveal the collision and convergence of worlds. Music fuses rhythms from Africa, Europe, and the Americas. Cuisine blends spices, grains, knowledge carried by ships and travelers and captives. Not all mixing is gentle. Many stories burn with sorrow. Many faces tell of survival, not only celebration. But even when born in suffering, this diversity is a testament to endurance, to hope. The human spirit cannot be imprisoned forever. Over decades and centuries, the patchwork grows. In marketplaces and schools, on plantations, and beneath city lights, populations reform, reimagine, rise anew. How do we honor these stories? By speaking them truthfully, by letting their lessons guide us toward a world where difference is never an excuse for cruelty, but a source of wonder, resilience, possibility. The age of acceleration is not only about numbers, but about memory, a memory that demands we look with open eyes, with respect, with readiness to build something better. Step into today's world. Travel is swift. Planes cross oceans before breakfast. Messages travel the globe in seconds. No metropolis is ever truly homogeneous. On the sidewalks, faces reflect centuries of blending, of movement, of mingled ancestry. Interracial marriages multiply. Mixed-race children fill classrooms, playgrounds, city squares. Festivals celebrate not only heritage, but fusion. Traditional dances meet viral trends. Food trucks serve flavor combinations few grandmothers could have imagined. Science draws new maps, less about borders, more about shared threads, endless loops of interconnectedness. Politics, identity, struggle continue. Old fears linger, but hope drives progress. We begin to see the power of unity. Local issues become global conversations. Compassion is extended across time zones, cultures, and difference. Empathy is taught as skill and art. Children learn that kindness knows no boundary, that friendship flourishes in variety. What future do we want? A family of many branches, rooted in respect, reaching for the sky. The old idea of racial purity dissolves before the reality. No one is of just one place, one history, one possibility. Instead, we become inheritors of the world, all its stories, all its gifts. To live as one family is to embrace not sameness, but the freedom to be uniquely, beautifully yourself, and together. Close your eyes and let yourself imagine what's ahead. 100 years from now, children are born into families whose ancestry flows seamlessly from continent to continent. A patchwork quilt more intricate, more vibrant than anything before. National borders exist, but less as walls, more as invitations to share, to learn. Global crises, climate, health, knowledge, are met by a united humanity. The skills and wisdom of billions are pooled, not divided. Technology connects more than it isolates. Science and art are collaborative, transcending geography and heritage. Differences remain, culture, tradition, personality, but they are sources of joy, not barriers. Identity is fluid, expanding, proud. Each person becomes a living archive of the story of humanity, a bridge between past and future. We no longer ask, "Where are you from?" as a test of belonging, but as an opening to curiosity. Imagine a festival with voices from every corner of Earth. Think of a wedding where families trace roots via 6 continents. Picture scientists solving problems together, musicians creating harmonies undreamt of. The world, finally, remembers itself. We become kin, not in uniformity, but in possibility. The question shifts, not whether we can live together, but how much more beautiful life becomes when we do. This is the ultimate inheritance, not wealth, not power, but a sense of home, stretching from the dawn of time to the farthest horizon. A home kept alive by millions of beating hearts. Return to the quiet of evening. The air slows. Your thoughts settle. You hold now the memories of journeys, encounters, change, of pain and triumph, courage and kindness. Every breath, every story says this: you are a child of explorers and survivors, an heir to every human possibility. The world is vast, but not impassable. Difference is a melody, sometimes dissonant, often harmonious, always real. Look at your hand, at your face. It contains thousands of places, deserts, forests, cities, old songs, and new dreams. Remember, belonging is not an answer. It's a question we return to, together, always together, even when we forget. May this night anchor you to a history deeper than words. May it inspire you to look at every stranger as kin, every story as part of your own. And may unity, not as sameness but as shared hope, guide us gently toward all the wonders still unwritten.